Hello there. So the date today is the 22nd of January 2020, and about a month ago, on the 10th of December 2019, I had my interviews for the University of Cambridge. I applied to Jesus College to study history, and what you're about to see is essentially my vlog of the experience, and then at the end you'll see a video of me kind of talking about my advice and what I would say to people, particularly if obviously you're applying for history or humanities. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. You'll see me, as in this time me, at the end of the video talking about my experience and basically what I gained from it and whether I got in or not. Okay, thank you for watching, and now we're gonna go to Arabella in December. One. There we go. Oh, this is nice. What's this then? Wardrobe? That's a fucking big wardrobe. Shit. Bloody hell. That's bigger than my fucking wardrobe. Jesus Christ. It's lovely though. I'm in Cambridge. At Jesus College. Oh, this is so cool. I'm so excited. Oh my god. I'm in Jesus College at Cambridge. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick tour. Trying to speak a little bit quietly because there are probably people. If there's at least someone on this side of me, there are people across the corridor for me. No one's above me, but there'll be people below me as well because, of course, I got a top floor room, which means I have to walk up 3 flights of stairs with a suitcase, but there we go. I may or may not have got lost coming here, so I think I walked around pretty much the whole of the main college area, so there's that. But yeah, I'll show you around my room. So yeah, this is my room. I'm at Jesus College, Cambridge, so yeah, really high bed for some reason. There's a chair as well, which is always nice. Chest of drawers, fireplace. There's a notice board that I imagine a Nazareth, who's in this room, pins things on. Bookshelves, a desk with my mirror on it because I brought it to do my makeup on. Cupboard, there's an ensuite in here. There's so much storage space. Like there's even a cupboard in the ensuite. So yeah, just nice, really nice. Like it's, despite being like a fairly old college, well no, it's not fairly old, it's like one of the oldest colleges I think. The facilities seem to be really good and it's warm, so it's not like it's freezing cold castle or anything. But yeah, more storage space there. And then this wardrobe is huge. It's bigger than my wardrobe at home. So yeah, there's all my clothes for tomorrow and just stuff I brought with me. So yeah, this is my room. I'm really, really excited to be here because I love Cambridge so much. Like I didn't think I would love it so much. Like I told myself at the beginning of college, like sixth form college, that I wasn't going to fall in love with Cambridge because what if I don't get in? But then when I did a law conference over in March, I really fell in love with the city and I really, really like it. I really want to go here and I'm so excited to be here. So I'll keep you updated on what I do and how the interviews go. The porters were really nice. Like I was kind of expecting these like scary, formidable people, but they were really nice. And I don't know why, but I don't know why this was nice to me, but they called me by my first name and I kind of just appreciated that. So yeah, even though I did get terribly lost, I am so excited to be here. Not quite so excited to do the interview, but I'm excited to be at Jesus College. So also, something I do like is these switches by the bed. So I'm very appreciative of switches by the bed, as well as all the way over there, which is good. Something else that's good, the water is nice. I'm a big water person in terms of like the taste, and this might sound like bullshit, but where I live like in a fairly hilly place. I live in Yorkshire, so the water is nice. Like, it's nice, clean, fresh, it's tasting water. The water where my grandparents live, which is by the sea in Dorset, is disgusting. Like, you don't want to drink the water when you're in that house because it really doesn't taste nice. So water at Cambridge I would rate a 7 out of 10. It's solid water. It doesn't really taste of anything, so it doesn't get a 10 out of 10 because the water at home is a 10 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I rate this water. It's quite good. I'm pleased. Okay, I'm still in the shower, but what the fuck was that? It was my charger falling into the bin. You may be wondering why I'm still in the shower. Well, that is because I have a complaint. It's a very minor complaint, but it is a complaint. So, I don't understand why anyone would ever do this, although this might just be because of space, but my one complaint is that you can see yourself in the shower. That's so weird. Like, you do not want to be stood here, you know, showering, doing whatever, and then you are like, you know, you're in the shower, and then you just happen to look and you can see yourself. Just not a fan. Also, the soap doesn't work, but that's not really, it's like a fixable issue. But yeah, it wasn't coming out, which is sick, but whatever. Otherwise, the room is lovely. Although I would like to know how soundproof the room is, because I talk to myself frequently, so I would want to know if, like, my neighbours are thinking, what kind of freak is this girl talking to herself? But here we go. I love this room. I love it. I'm so excited to be here. So it's 9:15 and I am back in my room. Me and my parents just went for dinner. Nothing that special. But I think the plan now is to read the things I need to read. So that's my personal statement, reread my essay. I've got a book that I said I read, and I did, but I've forgotten it because I read it in the summer, so I need to reread. I'm reading a couple of little extracts of that and making some notes, and then I'm going to try and potentially finish the book I'm currently reading tonight. Yeah, just rereading my personal statement and my essay and taking some notes from the books and from my personal statement and my essay on the kinds of things that I want to say. Stupidly, I forgot the big package of articles my grandpa sent me, so can't read any of those, which is really irritating, and B, the sort of potential questions you could get thing that my college gave to me, like a whole pack of useful information I've left at home. So yeah, I might ask my brother if he can send me a photo of the pages. That's a good idea, actually. I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, also, I don't know if anyone who watches this, which there's probably no one anyway, knows, but Paige Yallop goes to Jesus, and she posted an Instagram post today, and some people in the comments said that they actually saw her. So I would really like to see her tomorrow, because I've been watching her videos for probably like a year now, I think a year. So maybe I'll see her tomorrow, I don't know. And then I'll probably just go to to bed at normal time because breakfast is 7:30 till 9 tomorrow, and I need to be packed and checked out by 10. And my first interview, well, I have to go and pick up a source at 11, so I've not got loads of time in the morning. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go to bed at normal time. Might have a shower. Might have a shower tomorrow. I think I'll have a shower tonight. I don't know. But yeah, this is the room. Those are my plans for the rest of the night. Hi. So it is currently, I think it's like just gone 11. I'm ready for bed, as is obvious. And I just wanted to kind of say I have done pretty much all I could really do. There's a podcast about the new master of the college that I want to listen to tomorrow as I'm getting ready. But other than that, I've done about everything I can do, really. Everything's ready for tomorrow. I'm just gonna read for a bit and then go to bed. So I will be seeing you in the morning. I'm so scared. Just quickly forgot to mention, one lovely thing about tonight is that my favourite YouTuber, ASMR Gentle Whispering, has uploaded a new video, so that'll be a nice thing to send me off to sleep. But yeah, I'm actually going to go to sleep now. Goodbye, I will see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is 7 a.m. On the 10th of December 2019, and I have my Cambridge interview today. Good morning, Cambridge. Hello. Excuse the face, but I just wanted to quickly say I had a dream last night, and essentially it was that I woke up at 11:15, so I had 15 minutes until my first interview. I was not dressed and had not checked out, and etc, etc. And then in the dream, I'm like legging it to where I need to be, and suddenly I check my watch, and it's 3:30, and my next interview's in 10 minutes. So it's my second interview's in 10 minutes. So I already missed the first one, and I'm not close enough to get there on time, so I missed both my interviews. And then in the dream, I couldn't cry properly about it. It's really weird, but let's hope that wasn't prophetic. I'd be very surprised if I did miss both my interviews, because I'm awake at 7:30, and my first place I have to be at at 11. So, but yeah, that was not fun, and I knew I was going to have a scary missing interview or failing interview dream tonight. So yes, there we go, there's that. Also, I've had the interview on my mind so much that I've forgotten that tomorrow is my 18th birthday. So there's that. So yeah, I'm just gonna like put my makeup on and then probably go to breakfast and then chill. Probably might try and finish reading the book I'm reading, because I'm about 60 pages from the end, I think. And I'll have a little time. I'll have to drop my suitcase off somewhere because I have to check out by 10. But yeah. So I've just returned from breakfast. I rate the food, you know, I had 3 croissants. There was no hot food, but it was decent. But it was so awkward. I spoke to nobody except a guy who got lost, and we were both looking for a hole together. But yeah, and then I was sat next to these 3 boys who were discussing their choices. So one of them was applying for Cambridge, no. One of them was applying for classics, one for French, and one for maths. So couldn't relate to any of those. But yeah, it's heck awkward. I didn't talk to anyone, but what can you do? I'm just gonna brush my teeth and then chill in here basically until I have to leave. So, yeah. Okay, so I've packed, I've checked my room. It's 20 to 10, so checkout's in 20 minutes, so I'm just gonna go. And I'm so fucking scared. I'm so scared. I'm actually shitting here, but I'm here. Can't do anything other than try my best. Okay, so I will see you. I don't know when I'll see you because I don't think I'll have a chance to vlog after now. I might film little bits, but there'll be none of me talking to myself. So if I don't get a chance to talk to you again until the little end segment, then yeah, this is me heading off to my Cambridge, the first of my Cambridge interviews. Bye-bye. Hello there. So you've just seen the clips of me at Cambridge for my interview. So I am pleased to announce that was over a month ago, and I have a place at Jesus College, Cambridge to study history, which is really exciting. My offer is A-star AA, as is to be expected, but I'm very grateful, obviously, that I've got a place. But I just wanted to sort of do a little bit after the vlog just to kind of talk to you about maybe my tips that might be good. I mean, I got a place, so maybe my tips actually have some weight. I don't know. So I can talk about the interview in general, but I obviously applied for history, and I applied for a humanities subject. So it might be different if you applied for natural sciences, for example. But my number one tip, and I know that you'll be sat there and you'll be thinking, oh my god, this is so hard, this is so scary, but genuinely I think you just got to try as hard as you can just to enjoy yourself, because especially if you really love the uni, all you've got to think about is the fact that you get a chance to experience what it would be like to study at Cambridge, and you get to spend time in the accommodation, and you might meet some new people, and you get a chance to talk to some of the leading academics in your subject, which is obviously incredibly interesting and just almost pretty much a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I just really tried to enjoy myself. Cambridge is such a beautiful city. I really love it so much. And yeah, I think just try your best. I mean, obviously it's very important and you should prepare, but don't over prepare, don't over stress. Personally, I didn't prepare that much. I just, before the interview, I kind of skimmed my class notes from what we'd done in the last year or so. So in case they asked me anything about my course, and then I skimmed my essay that I sent in. I think perhaps with humanities and sciences, it's slightly different, just because in the humanities, they're more likely to ask you your opinions on certain, I don't know, historical interpretations or social theories or whatever, whereas I feel like, I mean, I've never actually experienced one, but I think potentially the sciences and maths and however are more likely to be maybe a little bit more of a knowledge test, or a test to see how you work out equations or whatever. So obviously I can't really give very much on that, but my personal experience of the interview was great, really. All of the people were really lovely. I saw Paige Yallop, which was really odd. She's a YouTuber I've been watching for quite a while now. She is currently in her 3rd year of natural sciences at Cambridge, and she goes to Jesus. I'll link her down below
if you haven't watched it, although no one is going to watch this video anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was weird to see her, and all the professors and whoever that I spoke to were really, really lovely, and they made you feel as comfortable as they possibly could, and they were really pleasant. You don't you get absolutely no indication for them whatsoever if you're like doing well. Pretty much the only responses I would get would either be more questions or just okay, okay. So don't expect them to go, I don't think that's right, unless of course they ask you a question like, what is the answer to this question, and then that might be a bit more of a that's not right. But at least in terms of my interview, there was no sort of well, maybe yes, but maybe no. It was just okay. But it was still fairly enjoyable. I would revise, in inverted commas, your personal statement. Just kind of know what you talked about in it, so they don't say, oh, so what did you think of this? And you just think, I put that in my personal statement, did I? Make sure you've read all your books that you said you've read, if you have to read books. And I mean, I would read a couple more just so they say, so what books have you been reading recently? And you just kind of say the one that you supposedly read in October, and then it's a bit like, do you read anything? Did you just read those for the interview? I don't know. In terms of humanities and particularly history, I can kind of talk about my personal experience with the interview. So I can't talk about too much. They said not to share too much, so I don't want to go into massive specifics. But essentially, I had 2 interviews. One was an interview where I was asked to talk about a source. Hello there. Going to come up here. Come on. So, one was an interview with a source where I had to talk about a source that I'd been given an hour before. And the other one was a more general interview where I got asked questions about my various opinions on certain historical interpretations or viewpoints, and things about my personal statement and the kind of things I enjoyed studying in history. As for tips, make sure you explain your thought process and everything. Like, even if you feel like you've been talking for ages, I would try and just explain your thought process and how you got to your conclusions. The thing that threw me off slightly was the fact that when I'd practiced at college, all of the practices we'd done had been with primary sources, and I got an article instead that was written in a journal, in a history journal. So it was less of a completely factual, this is King Charles II's diary, and it was more of like an article, this is kind of a historian's interpretation. Which, I mean, it threw me off, but I coped with it, and it was very long. It was probably about 20 pages maybe, but I just went through it, wrote some notes, and just kind of got in order what I thought that the main point of the article was, and how I got to that, how I reached that conclusion. Another tip would be, don't think that the picture that they have given you is just a cover picture for the article, because it almost certainly isn't, and they will ask you about it, and you will go, oh my god, I didn't even think that was a source, and I have not thought about it, which is what I did, and I had to think on the spot, oh, what does this picture mean? Which really threw me off, and they asked me to compare the picture to the article, and they were not about the same thing, so it was a bit, but there we go. And then in my second interview, I suppose, make sure you prepare your personal statement and your essay and think about the books you've read, but also be prepared for them not to ask you anything about any of those things, because my interview, they didn't. I did not get asked about my personal statement. I did not get asked about why I wanted to go to Cambridge. I didn't get asked about why I wanted to go to Jesus or why I wanted to study history. I didn't get asked about any of the books I'd read. I didn't get asked about any of my extracurricular. So nothing about Duke of Edinburgh or my choir or my volunteering. There was no question where they said, okay, so you read The Uses and Abuses of History by Margaret Macmillan. What did you think of this, or how did this enrich your study? There was no questions about my actual course itself, and I think there only would have been if I'd said I like Russian history. I think I did mention my course because it was relevant to what I was talking about, but it wasn't, they did not ask me anything about my course. So I don't want to say don't prepare it, because obviously every interview is different. They could easily ask you about it, but don't stress yourself out preparing, because they won't necessarily ask you it. And then you'll kick yourself if you sat and gone, oh, I need to reread all my books, oh, I need to know my personal statement off by heart, oh, I need to know my essay off by heart, and then they don't ask you about anything. Then you just think, oh, I got scared over nothing. So I mean, you'll have to take any of my advice with a pinch of salt, because I applied for history and humanities. So if you're applying for computer science or maths, the interview itself will probably be very, very different. But in terms of the interview experience, my main piece of advice is just to try as hard as you can. And I know it's very difficult, because I was sat waiting outside the room thinking, oh my god, but just try as hard as you can to just enjoy yourself, and think of it as, I get to spend time in a beautiful city, in lovely, the accommodation was so nice. Definitely stay in the accommodation, even if you live half an hour's drive away, go to the accommodation. It's free. It was such a nice experience to have an opportunity to stay in Cambridge and almost get a feel of what it would be like to go to Cambridge as a student, and just think, you get to stay in Cambridge in the accommodation, and you get to wander around a beautiful city, and you get to talk to people who are leading academics in the field that you're clearly very interested in because you applied to Cambridge. And I mean, I suppose this advice could also go for Oxford. I mean, obviously I didn't interview at Oxford, but again, Oxford's a lovely city. You get a chance to stay in the college that you want to stay in, as far as I'm aware. You get a chance to talk to leading academics in your field, and I feel like the only thing you can do is just perceive it as having an interesting conversation with an academic, and not as an interview to get into a uni, because yes, it is, and yes, it's really important, but it's really not that important. And if you don't get into Cambridge, your life will not be over. If you don't get into Oxford, your life will not be over. You will go somewhere else, because if you are applying for Oxbridge, you're clearly a very academically capable person. And all I have to say to you is, don't stress too much, enjoy yourself, and just take it as at least a learning experience of how interviews work. And if you don't get in, then that is by no means a reflection of your character or your intelligence or anything like that. I know a lot of people this year who have not got in, and I think, I can't believe they haven't accepted you, because you are a genuinely intelligent and interesting person. So that's all the advice I have to give. I'm obviously incredibly happy that I got an offer. It's amazing. I mean, I still have to get A star AA in my A levels at the end of this year, so there's that. But really, my main piece of advice is, when you go to interview, just try to enjoy yourself. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my experience and my very sort of rambly, disorganized advice. Please, again, I applied for humanity, I applied for history, so if you're applying for maths, it's not going to be the same, but the overall experience, again, that you should just enjoy will be the same. But please Don't go for interview and then say, I didn't have a source question, they didn't ask me about this. And I think, well, yeah, because I applied for history. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in whatever my next one is. Bye.